Hi everybody, MTG Openings here. It's Shadows over Innistrad release day. So I've got my typical booster box opening here. And we're going to try a little differently than usual. I'm going to open them and go through quick and show the rare and then set them off to the side and then go over them at the end. So here's my booster box. It's release day. I'm super excited. Before I go in too far, I also got the Buy a Box promo Elusive Tormentor. If you got to play with this, the pre-release, it's bonkers, I think. And I like the alternate art too, if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, we'll dive right in here now. Without further ado, so for those of you that don't know anything about Shadows over Innistrad, or Innistrad in general, so we're returning to Innistrad. It's a plane that's Gothic horror themed, and it's the first time they introduced double-faced cards. You may remember double-faced planeswalkers from the Shadows over Innistrad. From the Origins set for the planeswalkers. That was the second time they had them. Before it was in the original Innistrad. So each pack comes with a common or uncommon double-faced card in the back. It takes the place of a regular common, and then you can also get a rare or mythic along with that one. In the original Innistrad, you didn't get it. You only got one total, whether it was common, uncommon, mythic, or rare. So that's a little different this time. And so your chance to get, I think it's 1 for every 8 packs, just like a mythic, I think, something like that. So you can get about 40 rares per box, not counting any foils. So you also notice there's checklist cards in a lot of packs. That takes the place of the basic land. So if it looks like we have no basic land, that's the reason. So we'll start here with the very first one. There's, of course, as usual, chase cards in every set there are. There's 4 Planeswalkers: Sorin, Jace, Nahiri, and Arlen. And Arlen's a flip planeswalker, so you get her in the spot in the end of the pack. And then there's, of course, other mythics and rares that are chase cards. There's a set of 5 dual lands that are rare. And there's, of course, Avacyn herself as a mythic flip card, and so on. So we'll just dive right in here. Like I said, we're just going to cruise past here just so you can see the stuff I get. And then we will stop on the rare. It's Anguish Unmaking. Pretty good start. 1, a white and a black. Instant, exile target non-land permanent, and you lose 3 life. And then we did get a basic land, no checklist card, when an insect token. So we'll set that to the side. And then we got a Solitary Hunter as our double-face card. So not a bad start. Definitely a good card. It's going to be played in limited. It's going to be, it's definitely going to be good in limited. It's definitely going to be played in standard as long as black and white combinations are a thing. It'll probably see some play in modern. And it's a budget version of a good card in Legacy and Vintage too. So, which is Vindicate, of course. Let's peruse through here. Next rare is a Soul Swallower. 2 and 2 green, 3/3 Trample Worm. Has Delirium, so if you have 4 or more card types in your graveyard, it gets 3+1/+1 counters each turn. We got a Gas Type Arsonist and a Clue token, and then there's a double face card. So see, no basic land this time, like the last pack had. So makes sense. If you guys like this video enough, I might open up a fat pack. I usually do that each set, but I open up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of fat packs in the previous 2 sets because the 4 lands. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comment section. And we'll see. Next rare, Second Harvest. 2 and 2 green again. This is an instant. For each token you control, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. We got a Hinterland Lodger, and we got an Avacyn, Archangel Avacyn. So, and then we got a Clue, and then we got this is the other checklist card. So obviously Avacyn's awesome. She flips. She's one of the chase cards for sure. She's 3 and 2 white for a 4/4 flying angel, legendary creature with flash and vigilance. When she enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And then when a non-angel creature you control dies, you transform her at the beginning of the next end step. The next upkeep. She flips, she's a 6/5 flying, and when she transforms into Avacyn the Purifier, it deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. So the card's ridiculously good. So see, there's a double. We got a rare and a mythic in 1 pack, which is pretty cool. Avacyn's the real deal. You get her in She's going to be a commander card for sure. I think a cube card as well. And obviously you get her in limited and you're, you know, beyond over the moon. I'm not... It might have a place in standard. I'm not quite up on the new rotation just yet for standard. It's definitely a good card, so I don't know why. It'll at least be tried to be played. Our next one is Ordric Lunarch Marshal. 3 and a white, 3/3, legendary creature, human soldier. At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control get first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control has first strike, and then it does the same for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance. So lots of words on that one. Then we got a Therbin Gargoyle as our flip card, zombie token. So that's back-to-back legendary creatures. So we already got our first mythic, but it doesn't really count as a mythic spot, so we're hoping to get 4 mythics in this box otherwise. But who knows? We'll just keep moving along here. I like Audric. People will try it in a white weenie deck probably. At least it's a great casual card. If you play Tiny Elite... Oh, never mind. He costs 4. So I've played against him. He's beatable. It's annoying, but you can do it. Our next rare is Forgotten Creature. Forgotten Creation. 3 and a blue, 3/3, zombie horror with Skulk. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards from your hand and draw that many cards. And then our flip card is the Aberrant Researcher, and we got a land. So Aberrant Researcher is the next step in the quote evolution of Delver Secret / insect insect that he becomes. Insectile Apparition, is that it? That's not it. Forgotten Creature's fine. I mean, it's not a bad card, especially if you're already in a zombie theme. And the Skulk is a bonus, of course. So our next rare is Bygone Bishop. 2 and a white, 2/3 flying, Spirit Cleric. And whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, you investigate, which gives you a clue. We got a Duskwatch Recruiter and a Foil Noble Vampire, or Vampire Noble. So I'll pull that out. I got a double Bygone Bishop in my pre-release pool. You guys saw me open on my channel if you watched that video, and it was ridiculously good, especially in multiples, as you could imagine. Definitely a powerhouse in limited, and if there's a spirit deck, which I don't think there is, then that will be in it. Our next rare is Tamiyo's Journal. It's a 5 mana for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you investigate, and you can tap it and sacrifice 3 clues to search your library for a card and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. Then we got an Avacyn's Missionaries as our double-faced card. Tamiyo's Journal is definitely another one of those limited cards. I mean, it'll work if someone makes a casual clue deck, of course, too, because it can go get any card you want once you have enough clues. And I think it's definitely good and limited. At least it wasn't sealed. I'm not sure yet in draft. Next pack here has a Diagraph Colossus, 2 and a black, 2/2, zombie giant, and enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each zombie card in your graveyard. And then whenever you cast a zombie spell, you get a 2/2 black zombie on the battlefield tapped. Then we got another Solitary Hunter and another checklist card. And there's the Ooze token. Open the next one here. So far we've gotten 1 rare double-face card, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 packs. So right now we're on track, which makes sense. I'm hoping to see a mythic here soon, besides Avacyn. Not that I'm complaining about Avacyn. Our next rare is Always Watching. 1 and 2 white enchantment, non-token creatures you control, +1/+1, and have vigilance. So that's the key. The +1/+1 is good. There's another Logger. But the vigilance, I think, is what makes that card a powerhouse. You know, we've had many anthems in Magic's history, so it's really nothing new there. But the vigilance, that's what really puts it over the top. Yet again, if there's a white weenie deck in standard or anything, it'll play it probably. But other than that, mostly stuck to the limited tables, which is only weird because you can't play it with spirits. But our next rare is Engulf the Shore. 3 and a blue instant, return to their owner's hands all creatures with a toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. We got another logger, and we got a Westvale Abbey as a rare flip card. So Westvale Abbey looks pretty innocent here. So it's a land. Taps for a colorless mana. You can pay 5 and pay a life and put a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token on the battlefield. But then you can also pay 5, tap it, sacrifice 5 creatures and transform Westvale Abbey and then untap it. And when it transforms, it becomes Ormdal Profane Prince. He's a legendary creature demon, 9/7 flying lifelink, indestructible and haste. So if your opponent doesn't have a bounce spell or an exile spell, they're probably in trouble. So right on cue there, rare double face card. So Engulf the Shores is fine and limited, and I might play it in my mono blue Air Commander deck. Westvale Abbey though is getting hype, at least. I think it'll see play. As it seems strong, so I don't know why it wouldn't. Our next pack here is a Choked Estuary. This is the blue-black land. So there's a whole cycle of lands for friendly colors. So blue-black. So blue-black, black-red, red-green, green-white, white-blue. So this one. As it enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. So they're all like that, obviously, for their respective colors. So we got Choked Estuary, Theremin Gargoyle, and we got another rare double face card. This is Gyre Reach Bandit. It's our first rare werewolf. It's a 2 and a red for a 3/2 human rogue werewolf with haste. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells are cast, transform it. That's how all the werewolves transform. When this one transforms, it becomes a 4/3 werewolf. And when werewolves enter the battlefield under your control, you may transform them just right then. So that's pretty good. And like all werewolves, if someone casts 2 spells in a turn, he flips it back. So there you go. We got another. Now we're ahead of the curve on the every 8 packs getting a rare mythic double face card. So that's fun. Hopefully we'll keep that up. Still want to open an Ireland Chords, so who knows. I like the lands, and I also like the Gyre Reach Bandit. I think it won't see play outside of limited, casual werewolf decks for sure. The lands, on the other hand, will see play all over the place. So our next rare is a Forsaken Sanctuary. That is not a rare, I'm sorry. Our next rare is Descent Upon the Sinful. There we go. Sorry, I got thrown off because of land, but then I realized white, black, that's an uncommon. So Descent Upon the Sinful is a mythic. This is our first non-double face mythic. It's 4 and 2 white sorcery. Exile all creatures. Has Delirium, so you get a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying on the battlefield if there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard. Definitely good. We got a Lamb Hope Pacifist and a flip card. So Descent Upon Sinful is not bad either. It's a little expensive because it costs 6, but if there's a control deck that wants white, then that might be your removal. Or that might be your mass removal spell. There is also one in battle, of course, that has Awaken, so maybe that one's better. I don't know if either will see play, but definitely, if you open that pack one, pick one in a draft, you know to build around it, so that's fun. You also, obviously, if you have Delirium, which you probably can in a control deck, you can get an angel out of it. So I'm going to stop for a second and talk about Deadweight. I love this card. It was good when it was originally printed in Innistrad, and it's even better now because it's an enchantment for Delirium, and you're almost always killing a creature with it, even if it's not right away. Make a creature smaller, and then make them chump block, or just kill it right away, and then you have an enchantment in your graveyard, so the card's awesome. Our next rare here is Ever After, 4 and 2 black for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Each of those creatures is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. And you put Ever After on the bottom of its owner's library. Got a Breakneck Rider. And a checklist card. See, not very many land, like I said, so far. Ever After, I would not be afraid to draft that card at least once, to see how it does. Excuse me. Thankfully, it's up to 2, and not must be 2, because if for some reason you just want to get 1 card back, you can do that. I do like it. Our next pack here has a Seasons Pass. That's another mythic. This is another 6 to cast one. It's 4 and 2 green sorcery. Return any number of cards with different converted mana costs from your graveyard to your hand. And then you put Seasons Pass on the bottom of its owner's library. We have a foil. So our foil is a Voldaran Duelist. Nothing special there. So I like Seasons Past. All the pros seem to think it's a ridiculous bomb, at least in sealed and probably in limited in general. Obviously, there really haven't been any drafts. Not many drafts have gone yet as of the opening of this box. So definitely seems like a fun card. I don't know if it'll see play outside of commander tables and things like that, but it's still fun. Our next rare, Markov Dread Knight. 3 and 2 black for a 3/3 flying Vampire Knight. You can pay 2 and a black and discard a card and put 2 +1/+1 counters on Markov Dread Knight. This card is a bomb and limited, especially if you're playing Madness. It's a 3/3 flyer, it's already good enough. And then we got a Cursed Witch. Oh, a land! We got a swamp. As for anything outside of limited, I don't think the Dread Knight's gonna do much, gonna make many waves anywhere else. But it is the rare foil alternate art you get in one of the pre-constructed decks as well, I believe. So that's fun too. Next pack here is Eerie Interlude. 2 and a white instant, exile any number of target creatures you control and return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And then another Ghastap Arsonist. Eerie Interlude came in the Blessed versus Cursed deck, if you remember, if you got it or saw the deck list anywhere. It's fine. I mean, I don't think I'll be playing it much. I'm even a big fan of blink effects, but not mass blink effects. I mean, I guess if someone plays against you after you try to descent upon the Sinful or play Avacyn, you're going to be very sad, but that seems very situational. So maybe it's a sideboard card at most, but I don't think you first pick it. Our next pack has a Flameblade Angel. That's 4 and 2 red for a 4/4 flying angel. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, you may have Flameblade Angel deal 1 damage to that source's controller. So this card's a pain in the butt to play against. Then we got another Solitary Hunter and a Mountain. This card's a pain in the butt and limited. It's definitely, I mean, it's an angel that's red, so it's definitely going to see play at the kitchen tables if nothing else. So definitely look for it there. And don't want to play against it ever because I don't feel like doing math. Especially if you have devil tokens, forget about it. But it's a fun card for sure. It's another of the pre-constructed deck rares. Our next pack is Slayer's Plate. 3 to cast artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+2. It's 3 to equip, and when the equipped creature dies, if it was a human, you get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying on the battlefield. I got a Convicted Killer and a Wolf token. I like Slayer's Plate. I'm a limited player, if you couldn't tell that already. So I think the card will be good. It'll push you into humans, which is perfectly fine. Human deck is definitely nothing to scoff at. It's cheap to play and then not very expensive to equip. Also, a lot of the equipment in the last few sets, even rares and things, just either cheap and expensive to equip, or expensive and cheap to equip, or both expensive and expensive, which is not ideal. But 3 and 3 isn't bad for that effect. I mean, +4/+2 permanently for 3 mana. I like it. Our next pack is a Prized Amalgam. It's 1 a blue and a black for a 3/3 zombie. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, you return Prized Amalgam from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped at the beginning of the next end step. We got a Kindly Stranger and a Forest. I like Prized Amalgam. If you play any sort of dredge, that card is your friend. Any sort of maybe reanimation. I only wish it were black-red for my... I have a commander deck that's black-red that affects with card. It does a lot of stuff in graveyards. Prized Amalgam, I think if I open it in a draft, I'll play it, but... Or if it's passed to me and I'm in those colors, but it'll be hard-pressed to actually do its special ability, but that's okay. Our next pack is an Alter Ego. It's another gold card. This is a X and 2 and a green and a blue. He's a 0/0 shapeshifter. It can't be countered, and when it enters the battlefield, It is a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it has X additional +1/+1 counters. Another neglected heirloom. We got the Vampire Knight token, which is cool. I like Alter Ego, again, as limited. Now you have to want to be blue-green, so blue-green, if you are playing sealed and you get a bunch of good green-blue, that's a good card. I guess if you're playing one of those colors, you can splash the other. Even you don't obviously need a target in your own deck because your opponent, you can copy your opponent's stuff. Definitely strong. Just remember, it gets a little wonky with double-faced cards. So just keep that in mind. Our next pack here is a Port Town. This is the white-blue land. So this one taps for a blue, white or blue, and enters untapped as long as you reveal an island or plane from your hand. We got a Kessig Forge Master, another land. That's what I get for saying you don't get a lot of land. We got a whole run here of basic lands. That's okay. Moving on here to the next pack. I already said stuff about the lands. They're going to be all over the place and constructed for sure, because they always are. And of course, if you're on those colors and limited, then you take it, but you certainly don't first pick it. Our next rare is an Avacyn's Judgment. 1 and a red, sorcery, and it's got Madness of X and a red. So, Avacyn's Judgment deals 2 damage divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. If Avacyn's Judgment's Madness cost is paid, it deals X damage divided any way you choose instead. So very strong. Card is a bomb and limited, and if there's a Madness deck, which I don't think there will be, that'll play it. It's definitely, I mean, it's a great burn. I mean, even if we're just X and red, obviously people would play that card in limited. So I've already had that cast many times against me, and I've only played in 2 limited events so far. So our next pack contains a Behold the Beyond. 5 and 2 black sorcery. Discard your hand, search your library for 3 cards, and put those cards into your hand, then shuffle your library. We got a Solitary Hunter. So from Behold the Beyond is not a great mythic to get. That's our 3rd mythic, not counting out our 4th mythic, sorry. 1 double face and then 3 regular. What to say about Behold the Beyond? It's a commander deck. It's a commander player's dream card, I guess, if you're playing black, especially mono black. I will not be casting very many Behold the Beyonds. Sorry, Noah Bradley, for that. Our next pack contains a Corrupted Graphstone. So it's 2 to cast artifact. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it, choose a color of a card in your graveyard, and add that color to your mana pool. We got a Convicted Killer, another clue token, another land too. Corrupted Graphstone. If there's a self-mill strategy, maybe it's a card in limited, but yet again, no one should be first picking that card. So, obviously, there are plenty of cards in every set like that. Our next pack contains a Falkenrath Gorger. 1 red, 2/1 Vampire Berserker, and each vampire creature card you own that isn't on the battlefield has Madness, and the Madness cost is equal to its mana cost. That is a vampire that I like a lot. And then we got a Poyas Evangel and a Devil token. You want to talk about a card to open to go into an archetype? That's one. It's aggressive. That whole deck is aggressive. I played one in a pre-release, and I didn't have that guy, but I played a Madness Vampire deck. That card is amazing. Or at least I think it will be. Even if it's nice, because even if you don't get it on turn 1 or 2, it's still good enough, I think, in the late game. Our next rare is a Scourge Wolf. 2 red for a 2/2 first strike with Delirium. It has double strike. We got a Skin Invasion, and we got a Thing in the Ice. So we got another rare double face card. So we have 3 now. Let me put this down here. Thing in the Ice is a 0/4 defender for 1 and a blue. It's a horror. And then when it enters the battlefield, you put 4 ice counters on it, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you remove an ice counter from Thing in the Ice. Then if it has no ice counters on it, you flip it, or you transform it, I'm sorry. It becomes a 7/8 Kraken Horror, and when it transforms into a Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand. The card's very good. I'm not sure if there's a blue-red type of deck in limited, but that card is making waves in modern, especially, and you know, rumblings of standard and even legacy. So we shall see if it does anything. I think it's awesome. I also like Scourge Wolf. Whenever things cost double red for a 2/2 with first strike, I'm a fan. So our next pack is Nephalia Moondrakes. 5 and 2 blue for a 5/5 flying Drake. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gains flying until end of turn. You can pay 4 and 2 blue and exile it from your graveyard, and creature you control flying until end of turn. Definitely fun. Hermit of the Natterknolls. And we got our foil behind the scenes. And a checklist card. Coming down the home stretch here. Got a few packs to go yet. See what we have here. Nephalia Moondrakes is definitely a limited card. I mean, it costs 7, so I'm not even sure I like that. There's Topplegeist. Next pack is an Angel of Deliverance. 6 and 2 white, 6/6 flying angel. It's got Delirium. If you have 4 or more card types, whenever it deals damage, you exile target creature and opponent controls. We got a Village Messengers and a foil Pious Evangel, which is pretty cool actually. Foil flip cards are fun. Then we got a Village Messenger, like I said. Put that down here. If you like this new lay out the rares at the bottom thing, let me know. If you think I shouldn't read every one of the rares, also let me know. I'm definitely up for whatever you guys want to see. Pious Evangel, or Angel of Deliverance, I'm sorry, is a very expensive card. I don't think I will be playing it, but I can't fault people who want to play a 6/6 Angel either. We got a Foreboding Ruins. It's the black-red land. And we got a foil Apothecary Geist. So, I was hoping to get into Foreboding Ruins. The picture's awesome. It's very much ties into the story. Poor Markov Manor is no more. I like it because I need it for a deck. So, like most people do. Now you've gotten 3 of the 5 lands, which I'm okay with. Dual lands are always a good thing to have in collections, so I'm not going to complain about that. Our next rare here is a Asylum Visitor. 1 and a black, 3/1 Vampire Wizard. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, you draw a card and lose a life. It's got Madness for its same casting cost. Got a Town Gossip Mongers and a checklist card. I had an Asylum Visitor in my aforementioned black-red Vampires deck, and it's always fun to lay it down when your opponent thinks you're discarding. So I don't know if I ever actually drew a card off of it, but it's still strong enough to me. Next pack contains a Welcome to the Fold. 2 and 2 blue, and it's got Madness X and 2 blue. So you gain control of target creature if its toughness is 2 or less. If Welcome to the Fold's Madness cost is paid, instead you gain control of a creature toughness X or less. Got a Harvest Hands and a Forest. Into the Fold is gonna be a sideboard card, I'm gonna say, in a standard, if it isn't actually played. And the card is ridiculous, like all control magic type cards are in limited. So I like that card a lot. I like the name, I like the picture. Good card. Next card is from Under the Floorboards. It's very similar to the last one. It's 3 and 2 black Sorcery, Madness X and 2 black. Similar as in it's part of a cycle, I should say, along with Avacyn's Judgment. So this is put 3 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield tapped, and you gain 3 life. If its Madness cost is paid, instead you put X of those tokens and gain X life. It's still tapped. Got an Uninvited Geist, and another rare flip card is a Sage of Ancient Lore. So Sage of Ancient Lore is a 4 and a green star. Equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and then it flips like all werewolves. It's a star Vigilance Trample, and its power and toughness equal to cards in all players' hands. So, very strong card. Definitely died to it pre-release once. My opponent laid it when I was a little short on mana. It was an 11/11. Bad times for me. Next pack here, we have 4 to go at this point. So another Topplegeist. We got a Harness the Storm. 2 and a red, enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast target card with the same name as that spell from your graveyard. You need to pay its cost, of course. Then we got a Kiss of Forge Master. I'm hoping to open that card very early in the draft and go a little all in on some sort of multi same spell deck. Of course, in a perfect world, that's some sort of damage spell, but you know, beggars can't be choosers in that instance. I like the Harness the Storm. I like the idea. It might be a bit of a trap for some players, but if you think it might be, probably shouldn't draft it. Hey, we got another mythic. It's Relentless Dead. 2 black, 2/2 zombie with menace. When it dies, you can pay a black. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. And when it dies, you may pay X. If you do, return another target zombie creature you control and convert a mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. We got an Autumn's Gloom and a foil catalog. I like Relentless Dead. I'm glad to see that in here. That's our 4th mythic. Oh, sorry, I guess it's our 5th mythic. I keep forgetting to count the double-faced mythic of Avacyn, which obviously counts, but I keep forgetting to mention it when I do my count in my head. So, 2 packs to go here. This rare contains a fortified village. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about Relentless Dead. Well, here's Fortified Village. It's the green-white dual land. Relentless Dead is going to be good in a lot of decks. I think it's going to be a 4 of. I'm a little unhappy that it's a mythic that's going to be a 4 of in decks, but what can I do about that? I'm going to keep playing it anyway. We got a foil rare, and that's a good one. It's a Declaration in Stone. So Declaration of Stone is 1 and a white, sorcery. Exile target creature and all creatures it controls with the same name as that creature. The player investigates for each non-token creature exiled this way. This card's very good, very strong. The art's awesome. More Markov Manor. Poor Soren, and not like what he did. So I'm gonna say something before I open this last pack. I've been talking to friends of mine about this set and how anyone that doesn't get a Planeswalker in their box should be very unhappy. We are on pack number 36. No Planeswalkers. Am I going to be very unhappy? 4 mythics plus 1. And already have, what, 3 double-faced rares? Or is it 4? I might be unhappy. I guess we'll find out. I mean, I can't complain about a foil Declaration in Stone, but no Planeswalker would make me very sad. Last pack is To the Slaughter. Well, it's a good card. To the Slaughter, 2 and a black instant. Target player sacrifices a creature or Planeswalker. With Delirium, it's both. We've got a flip card. It's a Village Messenger. So I guess I'm sad. No Planeswalker for me. I do think the box was fine. I will say it's kind of unlucky of me to not get a Planeswalker. What can I do? So real quick rundown. Some notable cards. I mean, you saw the Elusive Tormentor. That's just, you know, gravy. To the Slaughter, Declaration of Stone. I got 4 of the 5 lands. That's fun. Relentless Dead is great. Thing in the Ice, definitely good. Falkenrath Gorger. Port Town. Then we got Seasons Past, it's good. Descended Upon the Symbol. More land. Westvale Abbey, definitely good. And yes, we did get 4 flip rares, so that's good. And then we got Anguish Unmaking and Avacyn. So obviously Avacyn's probably the best pool in the box. Like I said, I'm a little unhappy about no Planeswalkers. There's not much I can do about that. Hope you like this video. In the meantime, leave any suggestions in the comment section below. And check me out on, be sure to check me out on Facebook at MTG Openings and on Twitter at MTG Openings as well. I'm going to start posting some more stuff to those than I have been in the last few months. I'm going to try to do a few more videos, maybe up to 1 a week. I can't promise anything, guys. Life gets in the way sometimes. But be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Go back and check out a bunch of my other unboxings. And until next time, guys, hope you guys open well. See ya. Bye.